Every business today is in a race. And the biggest challenge? It's figuring out how to innovate at lightning speed without, breaking things. It's this constant balancing act between moving fast and staying solid.
And that leads to this huge question that, let's be honest, keeps a lot of leaders up at night. Do you really have to choose? Do you have to sacrifice reliable, stable operations just to get the speed and agility the market demands? Is it always one or the other?
Well, the great news is, the answer is a hard no. You absolutely don't have to choose. There's a really powerful integrated model that lets you have the best of both worlds. And in the next few minutes, we're going to show you exactly how it all fits together.
Okay, so let's dive right in with our first pillar, ITIL. The best way to think about this is as the chassis and safety system of your company's car. It's the strong, reliable frame that everything else is built on. For years and years, ITIL has pretty much been the gold standard for IT service management. Its whole reason for being is to give you a structured, proven playbook to make sure your IT services are delivered consistently, reliably, every single time. And to build that stability, ITIL gives us these core building blocks. It lays out really solid processes for, say, handling incidents when they pop up, managing changes so they don't cause chaos, and digging into the root of problems so they don't happen again. It's all about making your services predictable and stable. Okay, but here's the catch, right? While ITIL is fantastic for giving you structure and reliability, it often gets a reputation for being, slow, a bit bureaucratic. In a world that's all about agility, this heavy-duty process can sometimes slow down the very innovation you're trying to achieve. And that's the gap our next piece was created to fill. So to get that speed, our rock-solid chassis needs an engine, and that engine is DevOps. This is what gives the modern enterprise its horsepower and its acceleration. You see, DevOps was basically born out of the frustration with how slow traditional IT could be. It's more than just tools, it's a whole culture shift. It's about breaking down those walls between the folks who develop the software and the folks who run it, using tons of automation to get new stuff out the door way, way faster.
And DevOps totally flips the script on how work gets done. With things like CI/CD pipelines and managing infrastructure as code, it automates just about everything from testing to deployment. Quality and security aren't an afterthought anymore. They're baked right into the process from day one. And what's cool is that this actually reduces errors while speeding everything up.
But look, even the most powerful engine isn't enough on its own. DevOps is brilliant at the how to build and ship software faster. But what it doesn't have is a built-in system for the why. It doesn't automatically connect all this fast-paced work back to the big-picture business strategy, and that can create a pretty significant governance gap.
And that brings us to the final, crucial piece of the puzzle. We have our stable chassis and our powerful engine, but we're missing a sophisticated dashboard and a GPS. We need that governance layer to steer the car.
And that missing link is called the Digital Value Management System, or DVMS for short. It's designed to be the bridge that closes that governance gap, seamlessly integrating the control you get from ITIL with the incredible speed of DevOps.
So what exactly is it? Well, DVMS is a totally different kind of governance system. We're not talking about those old-school manual audits or boring quarterly reports. This is a continuous, real-time system that pulls actual evidence from the tools your teams are already using to connect top-level strategy all the way down to the day-to-day work.
And the way it works is actually pretty straightforward and, honestly, kind of brilliant. First, it makes sure that everything your teams are working on is clearly linked to a business goal. Second, it's constantly gathering real-time data and evidence on how that work is performing. And third, it uses all that evidence to give you continuous assurance that you're secure, compliant, and heading in the right direction. It's not about replacing ITIL or DevOps, it's about making them both better.
So, when you put it all together, you start to see that these three pillars aren't fighting each other. Nope, they're actually designed to work in perfect harmony.
And this right here, this visualizes it perfectly. You've got ITIL as that stable chassis. DevOps is the high-performance engine. And DVMS, that's your smart dashboard and GPS, giving you real-time feedback and making sure you're always on course. Put them together and you get a truly coherent enterprise.
And really, what this whole integrated model does is solve the one massive problem that holds so many companies back: fragmentation. When your development, operations, and governance teams are all working in their own little worlds, their own silos. This brings them all together.
So what happens when you get rid of that fragmentation? You get a single source of truth for everything. Performance, risk, you name it. For maybe the first time ever, leaders get a clear, evidence-based view of how things are actually running, which is absolutely crucial for making smart, confident decisions.
Okay, so let's talk about the payoff. Why does this actually matter to your business? Because this isn't just some abstract IT concept. This is a model for transforming your business.
Let's break it down. Take resilience. You go from just reacting when things break to proactively spotting issues before they become major problems. For compliance, forget those painful, time-consuming audits. Now you have a continuous automated audit trail. And, maybe most importantly, for business value, you stop wasting time and money on IT work that isn't aligned with what the business actually needs.
All right, so to sum it all up, the key takeaway here is simple. You do not have to choose between speed and stability. ITIL gives you that solid foundation, DevOps gives you the engine for innovation, and DVMS provides that critical, evidence-based governance that ties it all together into one high-performing modern enterprise.
And that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Take an honest look at your own organization. Are your teams, your developers, your operations folks, your governance people, are they all working in harmony, or are they operating in fragments? Because bridging that gap might just be the key to unlocking your company's true potential.